Show on the flow, surpassing FM and XM. We're gonna go all night. Well, not all night till 1 o'clock. So we're back with my guest that needs no introduction, Dave Zambrano. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
Good. Mic check. Let's go.
Hello, hello.
There it is. There's that bass.
All right.
See, my bass is gone in my voice because my cold is gone. But now you take care of the bass and I'll take care of the high-pitched voices. Welcome to the Wildcat Show, hon. Thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate the invitation.
Oh yeah, Dave Zambrano, we actually come across each other twice. First one was Raw.
Right.
And I was like, shout out to the shoes. That shit was badass. Every woman in here who wants, like you have your Jimmy Choos or whatever, Manolos that are like hundreds of dollars, but if you have not seen a pair of Dez Customz shoes, I mean, it's really tailored to the person. I even told you, it's like, I want a wildcat face on the shoe, which I'm fascinated by, like, the whole thing. I'm not an artist. I draw stick figures. So, you have to just work with me on this one. So, Dez Customz, is that a nickname?
Dez is, they are my initials. David Edward Zambrano.
Okay, see how that all works out? It's very nice. So, Dez Customz, clearly the word custom means it's just anything and everything that someone asks for.
Yes.
Okay.
I try to put paint on everything.
Right, and I didn't know that, so the second time we met was at the Genesis Art Show.
Right.
And the girl that was walking around topless with her top painted, I didn't know you did that one until I saw the
Yes.
picture. Did you just ask her right then and there? Did you want to paint it?
Actually, Ray set it up, and he wanted me to display art live. And
Right.
he said, "What do you want to do?" I said, "I'll do anything."
Right.
All right. Well,
So, the paint, is that not toxic for the body?
that's correct. It's non-toxic.
It is non-toxic.
Everything I use is water-based.
All right.
So it's all right. It's just like if you spilled a little bit of paint on your hand, you wash it right off.
Okay, because the glue gave me an allergic reaction afterwards. I keep saying that Michelle felt so bad. Because I was so tired. Like I took the Skittles off before we left the show. And then, next thing you know, I went home and I fell asleep. So the glue was still on me. So I woke up and I had dots of glue and shit. My fiance was mad. He said, how your boobs look like that? That is not art. That is disgusting.
Right.
Please don't do that again. So, but aside from that, it was a great show. So, like I said, Des asked me the magic question, what is my size? So I have a present on a Wildcat Show today, and it's on video, and the wife is going to take pictures because she's going to see my surprise face and post it on Facebook. So what is this? This is for me.
Recognize it from the show, you may not, because I did have a lot of them there.
Right.
And it just so happens that one of them was the closest to your shoe size. And
Okay.
it's still a gift for you. If you can't wear them, you can put them up somewhere.
That's what the insoles are for.
Right, exactly.
If they're too tight, that's when you put the shoehorn. If it's too big, that's when you
There
put the
go.
insoles.
I knew a woman like you would make things happen. So
Women
here you
have to
are.
accept, and if the ring's too big, you better put some tissue or swell up or something. Woohoo! I get a present. It's the orange one. Look, guys, chase the rabbit and get the tail. What does that mean?
Well, these are my Sexy and Sensual series. So that's why they have words like love and lust, and they have these little funny sayings. A long time ago,
okay.
like you were reading before, it says
Right.
chase the rabbit to get the tail. These are flirtatious. These are grown and sexy,
Right.
flirtatious shoes. So you would wear
Flirtatious.
these, when you want to spice things up. You
Right,
want
right,
somebody
right.
to pay attention
Oh,
to your
you'll be
feet for a
happy
little
tonight.
bit.
Hey, Blue, look what I got. Look what I got. All right, so you have a whole line of themed shoes. Is that what it is?
Well, this is part of a theme that I started out, and I did a few of these, and they sold.
Right.
I like to do it more by request, so
Okay.
you get exactly what you want. But I do have a couple that I keep in my collection that I take to shows and that are always for
Of
sale
course,
during
of
the
course.
show. That I've done. I think you saw the Freddy Kruegers
I
were there
did.
that night.
Dude, I'm telling you, the art. I'm so fascinated, and anybody who's been at the Raw show and the Genesis show, like people admire me for being on the mic and just talking my ass off or hyping up a crowd. It's just the same process for you guys to sit there and pull all these things out of the back of your head somewhere and make it look so beautiful and so artistic. So, so the shoe, but why shoes though? Why?
Well, everybody, just like you said, you can always get a pair of name brand. I mean, I recently, when I was too young, I couldn't afford Jordans. So now that I'm a little bit older, I've become a little bit of a Jordan
A little freak, yeah.
But at the same time,
$380 for the Jordan, my fiance's asking for them. They're like the 12s or something like that.
See, I'm not even that up to par on them, and it's so hard to keep track.
There's so many of them.
Right.
But he specified which one they want. They're like 300. I said, you lost your goddamn mind. I am not buying you $300 pairs of shoes.
So that's the reason that I customize them for a price that's comparable to that, but no one else in the world will ever have
no
what
one.
you have.
I tell ya, no one will have
And
these
that's
shoes.
the difference. That's the
These are
custom
the
side
freakum
of it.
shoes, man.
That's right. That's right.
Ladies, I'm gonna post this if you ain't seen. And literally, you could bring a pair to you. Because the biggest thing about women is comfort in the shoes.
Right.
That they're able to walk in a day on shoes.
Right.
So they can bring you a pair of shoes that
Whatever they like.
and then you'll just rock it.
That's right. Most of the time, they just tell me what colors and they want to see, and maybe what scheme,
Right.
and I go from there. I rarely do preliminary drawings or anything like that. Everything just comes from the
That's
heart.
amazing. I'm telling you, just no sketch, no etching sketch. It just bam.
Yeah.
Like so what happens when you make a mistake? Like if you're painting a car, like oh shit, I can't erase this bitch.
Well,
that's a big ass eraser.
You know, you paint over it, and
And just paint over it. I was
everybody
just
always
thinking,
asks
I'm
me.
like, yo, I saw a picture. He's like, he's painting this car. What if he just made a boo boo? And you're like, what? You can't just erase it. So you paint over it.
Right.
All right. I would have been laughing in the background. I'm like, all right, what are you gonna do now, man? You messed up the whole left side of the car. You gotta do it all over again.
It happens.
It does happen. So you obviously, you even said first you were born in LA.
Mm-hmm.
When did you guys move? How old were you when you
Oh, I
moved
was
here?
very little.
Very little. So you didn't really experience LA.
I didn't really. I love the culture there. I always, I read a lot, and of course on TV you get exposed to many things. But I have a lot of friends that grew up there, and through them I experienced the culture there, and of course through art, through meeting other artists that are from there.
Right.
But I love the artwork that comes from there. I think LA is big
LA is
as far
huge.
as the urban art scene is concerned. So
Okay, I was gonna
it's
say
really-
LA itself is just huge.
Oh, well,
It's
yeah.
able to get everywhere.
But you know, it's one of those things where I like to take some of my influences from there, but also I grew up in Virginia.
Right.
I was really from as far as I can remember, and the East Coast is where I get a lot of my current influences as far as what I put on sneakers and things
Right.
like that.
So, but you say you were street school. So that's where
I have no formal art training. I
That's-
took a year in.
it's crazy.
I took a year of art in high school, and I had the
And you
most
failed.
amazing art
And you
teacher.
failed.
Surprisingly, it was close because I didn't do what he told me to
Right,
do.
and
that
that's
was
just
the
because
only-
you're stubborn, and that's what most people. You know, that's what a lot of most talented kids are. Is they just don't want to follow directions.
That happened to me a lot.
The artistic mind is stepping outside the box.
Right.
And to sit here and be like, all right, you need to draw this circle with this rectangle. And I'm like, teach, that's stupid. I'm just gonna go skip class because you're boring me. Because you probably don't want to pay attention to what they have to say. It's like, I can make that look better than what you're
Thankfully,
doing up there.
well, he was an amazing artist, and thankfully he was as stubborn as I was,
Okay.
and
So he kept
he
pushing
was
you.
a big influence.
Okay, good.
And a lot of it is he said, your talent will either one day mean a lot to you, or it won't mean anything to anyone.
Right.
And that went
That's
a long
deep.
way
That's
into
deep.
making me realize that I can't waste this. I have to do it somewhere, somehow.
That's awesome. So today, the everybody on the show today has a whole bunch of people that I'm sure has influenced them their whole life, because this artist to me is undescribable. How would you define art? I mean, don't take my answer because I already said it. It's undefinable to me.
It's expressing your feelings through color. That's the closest way I could ever put it into words, because you know, sometimes someone they'll order a pair of shoes and I'll tell them it's about 2 to 3 weeks to get it, and they're like, but it's a pair of shoes.
Right.
The last thing you want is for me to not put passion into the shoes, and you don't have
Agreed.
passion every day. So-
Dude, do you know who else said that? 'Cause my fiance draws, and he will say, because I've asked him to draw my cartoon for the I'm gonna go 2.5 years, bastard. And he said that from day one, and he kept, and he never, and then I had somebody else make it, and I had somebody, and he was like, it's alright, don't really look like you. I said, you know what, jerk, you've been promising me this. He's like, listen, I don't just sit there and draw. It has to come to me,
Right.
and I have to be passionate about it. But when he draws, he draws.
Right.
So it's amazing. You're the first person that said that. Some people, some artists will sit here and be like, I can draw on the whim. I have a tattoo artist friend who does a lot of freehand tattoo, and he has to do things on the whim, because they can come in and be like, draw me something, you know, and then but you are, and that doesn't mean he's not passionate about it, but I think he's just become more skilled with dealing with that kind
Right.
of a time window and request that he had to, be able to adapt
Right.
to that. But yourself, I mean, people, and I understand that. So people, will you leave him alone? Shit, if he says 3 weeks, shit comes out looking like this. I got shoes, bitches. This shit is awesome. I'm sorry. I can't walk on these right now because my knees are bad. But like I said, they're freaking shoes. All right, so currently you do this full time? Do you work for?
I was doing it full time, but the season, our work, unfortunately, when they say starving artists, they mean it.
They mean it,
You know,
yes.
it's hard to make a living at what you love, and it's like that in everything.
Mm-hmm.
So right now, I currently have a full time job.
Okay.
I have a 9 to 5, and then I go home, and then that's when I have the freedom to create.
Right.
Is when I'm at home.
Okay, so but where do you want to see yourself in 5 years?
I have to be doing this full time
Right.
in 5 years because it's all I think about. If I'm given a task, I give 100% to that task. But at the same time, when I'm at my 9 to 5, in the back of my mind, at least 30 times a day, I'm thinking to myself, I'd rather be painting.
Right,
I'd rather
elsewhere.
be doing something else. I'd rather be using
Yeah, just
my
don't say that
artwork
out
to
loud.
make
Your boss
money.
will be like, this!
Yeah, well,
Shut up.
well, he knows.
Dude, I know.
I
He
have a
knows
cool
your.
boss.
Yes,
Yeah.
and you know
That's
what?
a cool boss.
We're gonna give praises to cool bosses because I do have a cool boss as well. And I just gave her more cupcakes today, and she's mad because she's on a diet. She can't eat it. Shout out to you, Lisa. But that's great. So to have, I mean, and I believe at the end of the day, he may not necessarily say it, but he probably wish you weren't there either. That you were doing what you like to do,
Right.
love to do.
And he's told me himself, Dave, I don't expect to have you long.
Right.
But while you're here, you're gonna give me
Right.
100%, and that's why I know I can trust you.
That's
Because
right.
he knows he's gonna get 100%.
Preach.
But he respects the fact that he knows I'm not long for that job. I can't.
We're like this now. Me and him both like now. We're just shaking our heads. Few more months. Let's
There
go,
you go.
Wildcat Show. Let's
There
get
you
it.
go.
Let's book them. Get shoes like this all day. Get my face on it. Oh, so like, how do you? Well, you're an artist, so you have like the rat cars. Like, is that just a different kind of market in general? Because I'm sure yours obviously take a lot more work than wrapping a
Right.
car.
Well,
Right.
I can't knock an industry that's really good. I mean,
Right.
I can sit
But
here and
that's
act like I'm
crazy.
bitter.
Why?
But-
Like, why are they making so much more money when you clearly
Well,
do a lot more labor?
it's cheaper,
It is cheap.
so they can do more.
Okay.
In a week, they can do 5 cars a day.
Right.
So you're talking about knocking out 25 cars in a week. I can do a car in a week or 2.
Ah.
So that work is cheaper. And in this area, if I were growing up in Atlanta or LA or Texas, I'd be
Balling.
rich.
Right.
Because there's more of a market for what I do, for the automobiles and for the airbrushing.
I'm just gonna buy like 50 cars and all of them.
That,
Like, here you go.
That would
You know,
be a
let me
blessing.
overpay them. Let me just give you some money.
you know,
I'm just,
over here it hasn't caught on yet,
Right.
but it's starting to. More and more, especially the motorcycles, more and more
You know what it
every
is?
year I get.
they
phone
just need to
calls.
make another Fast and the Furious movie.
Yeah.
Just,
That helped me the
Is that
first
right?
time. Yeah.
dude, everybody was like, everybody had and then when the stripes first came out in the car, or like the race, it's crazy. And the trends and the fads today, it's really where business follows. It's crazy.
It does.
And what? Jesus, this Halls is just making my mouth so full of spit. Jesus, that's gross. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and hit commercial break real quick because I want to tweet these pictures that wifey took a picture of me while I was all surprised with my new shoes. Stop texting me. Stay tuned on the Wildcat Show, guys. We'll be right back with Dez, Dave Zambrano. We're right